welcome back to my channel. This is going to be something totally new for this channel. I never started a blog or YouTube as a way to do hair stuff, but I get a lot of questions on how I do my hair. And I think it's because I tend to like curl it quite a bit and do a lot of braids, so people keep asking me. I've never done a hair tutorial before. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Hopefully well. So this video is going to be basically how I curl my hair, as well as it's going to involve some Dutch braiding that I've done here. I recently went to the Urban Decay Square 1 launch party and I vlogged it, and a few people saw my hair at that event and asked me about it. So I thought I'd just go ahead and do a tutorial because it does cover most things that I tend to do with my hair. If you're seeing something other than straight hair, it's usually either curled like this or it's got some sort of inverted braid. So that's exactly what this video is going to be. It's going to cover both of them all at once. So as you can see, I've got hair curled down here, and then back here is like a Dutch braid that connects at the back. So let's dive right into it. Okay, so sadly at this point I lost about 12 minutes of footage because the brand new batteries that I bought on Amazon are crap. So this is curled underneath, but we're gonna ignore that for now. I am starting with dry hair. I tend to prefer doing this after I've washed my hair, dried it with a blow dryer, and then just let it sit for a while. However, it does work best on second day hair, so keep that in mind. In general, I prefer curling my hair with a flat iron. Really, you just twist it as you pull down your hair length, but I busted mine in Iceland. The thing will not turn on, so I can't curl my hair with that any longer. So I resorted to using the Kiss Instawave. I was sent this, I want to say almost 2 years ago now. So this thing has an on-off switch, obviously. It has a low setting and a high setting. I don't think I've ever used a low setting on any heat tool in my life, so I always set it to the hottest setting possible. The light will go red when you first turn it on and then blue when it's heated up. Now, the way I start doing my hair is I section it, and I start with a bottom row, curl it, separate the next section, and then curl it. And then that's where we're at now. So we're going to start with a halfway done head of hair. So depending on where my last line of curls was, it's roughly here. I just take roughly an inch higher on the head, pull that away, and then tie it up with a hair tie. And this will make you look like pebbles for the entire time that you're doing it, but hey, whatever. So I always pull the loop through there and let it sit on the front so that I don't have any hair like cascading down the back, which makes it more difficult to curl the pieces that are actually free. So taking the Kiss Instawave, this has a, well, it's a rotational button, so it goes one way or the other. So if you push it one way, it rotates that way. Push it the other way, it rotates the other way. And I tend to curl away from my head just because it doesn't leave me with like a weird bump that curves into my head. I take approximately that much. I'm gonna guess it's an inch section of hair, but that term has always weirded me out. Like, what's an inch section of hair? Is it this way? Is it up and down? Anyway, grab something that is appropriately sized. You don't want it too thick because then it can take longer to curl. So with the Instawave, you just put it perpendicularly to the piece of hair and then hit the away button, which is the button that faces away from your head, and you let it sink in. Now, I guess sink in is a weird term, but it curls the piece onto the barrel, and these little slats in here squeeze it tighter. So it brings that section closer to the barrel as you rotate, and then you just let it sit. Now, depending on how big the section of hair is, you can generally leave it short for less hair and then longer for more hair. So this is a fairly small section. I've probably let this curl way too long right now. I should have left it about 5 seconds. I just drop it. And you can see that's gone pretty corkscrew, but we'll brush them out in a minute. So here's another section. It's a little bit thicker. Again, same process. Put it perpendicular, rotate out, and you let it wrap itself around the barrel. And I wait, whoop. It gets caught a little bit, but it's not too bad. Just push it the other way to release it. And I wait until the outermost section gets closest to the barrel. There we go. So I'll probably leave this one about, I don't know, about 10 seconds. and I just pull it straight down. Now, curling your hair is entirely dependent on how well your hair can retain the heat. I don't have any product in my hair right now, and my hair is very good at retaining curls. If you are somebody that struggles with curl retention, you're gonna have to load up with product in order to get it to stay firm and curled longer. My curls will generally last the entire day. They'll start to drop about midday, but they will still look nice the next day. All right, so moving on to the other side. Grab a section. So you repeat this the entire way around your head, including everything that you've got up here too. So my part is usually here-ish. I have a bit of a cowlick here, so I kind of have to part it there. So I try to find that so that I'm curling on either side. All right, so this is my hair freshly curled. The whole thing is done. I have no idea if it's actually curled at the back, but I'll show you guys. So you get an idea of how ringlety it can be with the Kiss Instawave. It looks nice the entire day. I start with tighter curls and they move into softer ones, but I always apply hairspray anyway. So what I tend to do is I'll apply hairspray when it looks like this, but I do wait a little bit. At least wait until the curls are no longer hot. The sooner you brush out curls, the quicker they will drop. Like if they are still warm when you brush them out, they'll become more of a wave. So what I do when it's still kind of like cooling down, I'll apply some hairspray. And this one is the Pantene Pro V Stylers Anti-Humidity Hairspray Maximum Hold. It doesn't matter to me what hairspray I use anything. So I'm pretty generous with this. I just completely douse the hair. And I do always smell like hairspray if I do this. And now we let that dry. All right, once the hairspray no longer feels tacky, I mean, it's a little bit crunchy, but let's be honest, hairspray has to feel crunchy in order for it to actually hold. I will then finger comb it out. Yep, you're gonna be pulling a little bit on your hair, but c'est la vie. I don't drag a brush through it because I don't really have a really wide tooth combed brush. Ones that have too many bristles tend to yank too much hair out when there's already hairspray in my hair, so I don't want that happening. So that's loosened it up a little bit. Do as much as you want, really. And this would be how I would wear my hair, just curly or wavy, I guess, because it's not as tight of a curl. And this is fine. I can totally leave it like this, maybe apply a little bit more hairspray and wear this throughout the day. Anyway, everybody was asking about the sort of braid look that I wore to the Urban Decay Square One launch party, so I'm gonna continue with that. This is how I would start. I would do the curls and all that stuff first, and then I would do the braid. Let's dive right in. So I keep a non-centered part because, as I've said before, I have a cowlick that pushes my hair this way, as well as a widow's peak. So I feel like if I do this, well, actually you can just see it, I end up with a really high area over here and then like a flat area here. So whenever I'm doing my hair, I pretty much always just stick to the side part. So for the braids, I was doing inverted braids, or they can be called Dutch braids. So you know with a braid, you're plaiting over top. With an inverted one, you're just reversing it and going backwards. So I take a little section of hair here, and you're gonna have to forgive me for staring at the viewfinder because that is my only mirror right now. And I split it into three, as you would with any braid. And then you go under, and then under again. So that's how I start them off. And then from there, I add pieces as if it were an inverted French braid, because that's exactly what I'm doing. So I take a little piece here, add it to the section that's on the outermost area, and then place it underneath. Grip that side, drop that, and then add a piece. And you just keep adding to that until you go back as far as you want. I don't want to take too much from here, so I'm not going to be dropping it too much. So, still pulling sections here. So we've gotten to about like halfway down the crown, I guess you could call it. And then this is just when I start to normal braid it. So I'm not adding any more sections in. I am just continuing the braid. So I want it to go far enough that it can hit the middle of my head, and we're almost there. Okay, so that's a fairly tight braid, as you can see. Now what I do is, if you put the elastic on it, and it doesn't matter what elastic you're using right now, you just want something strong enough because we're gonna be using something different to secure everything at the end. So once that's securely in place, I then start pulling these pieces of hair out to fatten them. And it makes them look like a flat braid, but it also makes it look far more voluminous. The problem is you can't pull it too much or it completely like kills the integrity of the braid and you'll have like pieces flying everywhere. So you have to be kind of gentle and just slowly pull up the length of the braid. And I hold it down here too, even though there's an elastic on it, because as I'm pulling pieces up, this is getting smaller and smaller. Okay, so there we go. That's pulled out enough for me. I'm just gonna tighten this at the bottom because I don't want any pieces coming loose. And then now I need to do the other side. Okay, so this side is definitely weaker because there's less hair involved, so I don't want to pull it out too much or it just like, it's gonna fall apart. So now I've got both pieces of hair. I just have to bring them around to the back and then secure them. So to secure it at the back, I'll just use one of these small elastic bands. I use clear ones because I feel like they look less obvious than one of these fat red ones at the back. And if you want the whole look to look kind of cohesive, clear bands usually look better. So I'm gonna flip around and show you how I connect them at the back. I do this without a mirror every single time, so it generally turns out okay, but if you wanna double check it, you will have to do like the two mirrors, one in front and one in back to check behind you. Alright, so that's how I connect them at the back. You would have seen me lift the braid up and scoop my hair underneath. This just pulls any little extra pieces that may be floating above the braids and pulls them through that area below. At this point, you can basically just fine tune anything, pull the braid down a little bit lower in the back if you want to make it more of a crown, pull out these little pieces even more. I would definitely give it a spritz of hairspray just to make sure that they're secured. Alright, so there we have it. That is how I curl my hair and then do some inverted braiding. I don't even know what to call this. I guess it's kind of like a braid crown, but it only covers half my head. So it's fantastic when my hair is in the stage where it needs to be cut, which is right now, and I can just get the top section off of my face, but I still have like plenty of length and curls and it still looks voluminous and soft and not like I just slicked my hair back, which is generally what I tend to do when I need a haircut. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!